Good day to all. I am here to present my research work entitled Project Probe, Addressing Gaps Through Research in Education. Let me start first by providing to you the abstract of my study. This research determined the effectiveness of Project Probe, which stands for Providing Research-Based Opportunities for Better Education, in addressing gaps in teachers' research capabilities and utilization. Parameters were based on the school PPA evaluation tool from a total of 25 teachers who were the recipients of the project. Through mixed method research design, findings from the evaluation of Project Probe for the school year 2020-2021 were collected and interpreted using weighted mean and emerging themes of responses. Data suggested that Project Probe is highly evident as it obtained the overall mean score of 4.92 for goals and objectives, 4.99 for relevance, 5.0 for time management, 4.96 for student participation, 4.92 for internal and external stakeholders participation, 5.0 for management of resources, 4.95 for effectiveness to learning outcomes results, and 5.0 for documentation or accomplishment report. Further, this is validated by the comments and suggestions provided by the respondents in the assessment of GFI NHS PPA evaluation tool. Relatively, the outcome is consistent with a multitude of research that suggested that despite the pandemic, educators continuously seek resiliency in education reform. They acknowledge that research skills are critical to sustainable and lifelong learning. Hence, being teachers as researchers, they are innovators, curriculum drivers, agents of school transformation, and directors of their own professional growth. It would also be suggested that this study is vital for opening better and greater avenues to recognize teachers. It will also help in bolstering the education environment that will spearhead innovations and practices which are evidence-based for a wider community of greater benefit. As with the keywords, we have teacher research, research capabilities, research utilization, and education research. For the introduction, it is agreed that the research capabilities of educators are crucial to a sustainable and lifelong learning perspective. This is according to Bautista in 2016. Academic research aims to generate a new information, but for most teachers doing research, the goal is to enhance practice while being guided by theory. Involving research in their activities will improve their writing capability that may also empower and organize them. They will also provide a collaborative environment wherein it is engaging. It can also accept changes and development through different programs and training that the school could provide. Hence, with the shift of education process due to the pandemic, enhancing research skills is one way to find solutions and innovations that may help provide practices for the benefit of both school and the students. This will also ensure that research will create significant impact on educational improvement by developing new mechanisms that are evidence-based. This endeavor is also significant in creating new resources for educators, introducing new funding streams, and pioneering ways for teachers researchers teacher researchers to collaborate. Instead of utilizing the same old teaching techniques that have been succeeded in the past, they may need to devise new methods of instruction. Not only that, but educators could be encouraged to develop curricular ideas with out of the box concept yet still very beneficial for learning. Although the teacher as a researcher movement has been around for a while, there are still reasons why the majority of instructors remain uninvolved and reluctant to participate in the research due to its technical and critical nature. In this regard, Project Probe is deemed beneficial for its goal is to help educators to overcome barriers to being education researchers and at the same time continuously promote and strengthen the culture of research in the institution. Further, it is hoped that this project may contribute to determining the capabilities of the teachers when it comes to research, of course. Likewise, the extent of their productivity, dissemination of opportunities, and importance of research utilization. It can also be suggested that this study is vital for opening a better and greater avenue to recognize teachers' efforts and contributions to research. It will also help in bolstering the education environment that spearheads innovation and practices which are evidence based for a wider community of more significant benefit. This study aimed to determine the effectiveness of Project Probe in Guronasyon Foundation Incorporated and National High School for school year 2020 to 2021. Parameters were based on the survey questionnaire using GFI NHS PPA evaluation tool, which was answered through Google Form. Using the mixed method research design, recipients who are 25 teachers or the total population of researchers and process observers in the school were tasked to determine the effectiveness and areas of improvement of Project Probe. Specifically, this research sought to answer the following guide questions. What is the assessment of teacher respondents based on GFI NHS PPA evaluation tool? Second, how do Project Probe is perceived based on the comments and suggestions of the teacher respondents as according to GFI NHS PPA evaluation tool? So as you may see, this table here would be the gauge in order to determine the assessment of the respondents. Likewise, to solve the problems posed in the study, the researcher made use of weighted mean, and then the gathered data, of course, was tallied, processed using MS Excel 365. Data was gathered, analyzed, tabulated, and interpreted for the next plan of action in this endeavor. Results and discussion. So as you may see here, this is the table which give us or provide us details regarding the assessment of respondents based on GFI NHS PPA tool. The table that you have seen depicted that the overall mean results for Project Probe is 4.97 with verbal interpretation of highly evident, whereas it obtained the overall mean score of 4.92 for goals and objectives, 4.99 for relevance, 5.0 for time management, 4.96 for student participation, 4.92 for internal and external stakeholders participation, 5.0 for management of resources, 4.95 for effectiveness to learning outcomes, results, and 5.0 for documentation or accomplishment report. Data implied that the Project Probe had successfully contributed on the development of teachers when it comes to research. Further, implementation of it has been strategically planned and catered since it has able to provide necessary materials and documentation as well as participation of internal and external stakeholders. In line with this, Grima Farrell from 2017 stated that by conducting research together, teachers can develop a common objective and concern for research-based practices. Collaboration can lead to more concrete and genuine evaluation and discussion, which can lead to better research work. As a result, according to Zara from 2021, comprehending the importance of research may appear to be no-brainer, but many people avoid it like the plague. However, whether a person is a member of a research institution or not, performing research is not only important, it is required. As you may see, this is table 2, whereas it gives us details on comments and suggestions of teacher respondents based on GFI NHS PPA evaluation tool. It can be gleaned from table 2 that respondents are satisfied with how Project Probe turned out. Congratulatory message report stating that the team behind the project did well and it has the majority who mentioned that the project helped them along the research journey. Hence, others suggested that calls for proposals and conferences should be given ahead of time. More training should be provided, and a copy of research should be kept in a file and be available for future references. Support from the principals and other school heads should be consistent. Likewise, it is according to them that doing research is indeed a long-term activity and a very tedious process. This is consistent with Donovan in 2018, who stated that in order for instructors to have good attitude toward completing their research work, they need to be given support, likewise time, understanding, and resources. Likewise, as stated by Mera Events in 2020, conducting action research specifically, is a significant contribution to teachers' professional development. By discovering new teaching strategies through professional development for teachers, educators can return to the classroom and make changes to their teaching styles and curricula to better suit their students' needs. So based on the findings of this study, the following conclusions are formulated. First, Project Probe has obtained a highly evident result. Objectives were attained, and trainings help in learning about research concepts and practices. Project implementer and project team were diligent on their task, for they were able to give constant reminders on events and guidelines. Thus, conferences inspired other teachers to undergo research undertaking. Second, the program was successfully implemented. Hence, for further improvement, process observers and respondents claimed that longer preparation time should be provided so interested teachers will have ample time to prepare. Also, handouts and video recordings must be given so other teachers can study the research process on time convenient for them. The researcher is confident that assessing variables gathered in GFI NHS PPA evaluation tool from the respondents will provide insights on where to start again, what areas need to be reinforced, linkages to be strengthened, and furthermore, policies on research works may be formulated or enhanced even more. Likewise, clearing all the gray areas and promoting research among educational institutions. Well, I think that would be the end of my report, my discussion. So as you may see here, these are the references of my study. That would be all. Thank you.